president who works for all the American people.
Vice President Harris at a rally in Erie, Pennsylvania, called former President Trump unstable and unhinged as she also unveiled economic proposals to help black men.
$20,000 in forgivable government loans for 1 million minorities to start businesses, as well as education, training, and mentorship programs, and legalizing marijuana. It comes as the New York Times poll shows just how much black voters have drifted from Democrats, from 92% in 2016 to 90% in 2020, down to just 78% today.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. Former President Trump also rallied in Pennsylvania, holding a town hall in Oaks near Philadelphia.
What's happened to our country in the last almost 4 years now, it's hard to believe. But if you look at the borders, if you look at inflation, you look at the Afghanistan disaster, the most embarrassing time in the history of our country.
Now, today, the former president will speak about the economy in Chicago, then campaign in Georgia, where early in-person voting starts today. It's been 2 weeks since Iran launched a barrage of missiles at Israel, and Reuters reports the first components of a new American missile defense system have arrived in Israel, and it will be operational soon. As the Washington Post reports, Israel's prime minister has told the U.S. their retaliation will target Iran's military, not oil or nuclear facilities.
That information signals that Netanyahu might be willing to avoid greater escalation with Iran, at least for now. And he's aware that any type of strike against Iran could actually impact our U.S. elections. Netanyahu reportedly saying, we will listen to the opinions of the United States, but we will make our final decisions based on our national interests.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tel Aviv. More tension in Asia. North Korea has blown up roads across the South Korean border that are no longer in use. Another step in leader Kim Jong-un's pledge to further detach the countries. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Immigration remains a big election issue after a record surge of illegal border crossings. And now this.
New Mexico authorities are grappling with a growing number of migrants dying in the state's border region. The remains of more than 100 migrants have been found in the first 8 months of this year, more than 10 times the number reported 5 years ago. The numbers have surged as smugglers increasingly steer migrants into hot, rugged areas of the state. Many of the bodies discovered this year were just miles from the port of entry in El Paso, Texas. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
Star rapper Sean Diddy Combs has more legal trouble as he sits in jail in New York awaiting federal sex crime charges.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing more civil lawsuits filed in federal court. 6 people accused Diddy of sexual assault. The suits were filed in the Southern District of New York on behalf of 4 males, including one who claims he was a minor at the time of the molestation, and 2 females, none of whom are named in the filings, surrounding alleged incidents that span 1995 to 2021 and include allegations of sexual assault and rape. Combs has previously denied all civil and criminal claims through his attorneys, saying the accusations leveled against him are sickening. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, not moving much. The day after the Dow surged to yet another record high, closing over 40,000 for the first time. In the baseball playoffs, we're closer to a Subway World Series.
Soto, a high drive, right center field, Wynn beating it up, and it's going to defy the wind.
Juan Soto started the scoring, leading the Yankees to a 5-2 win over the Cleveland Guardians on TBS in the opening game of the American League Championship Series. In the NL, the Mets beat the Dodgers 7-3 in Los Angeles to tie that series at a game apiece. On Monday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills beat the New York Jets 23-20. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Governor Pritzker calling on Stellantis to reopen its assembly plant in Belvedere. He urged the automaker to live up to commitments it made a year ago to Illinois workers by restarting the facility. The plant stopped operations last year. Stellantis confirmed it's delayed the reopening of the Belvedere assembly plant due to market conditions. Authorities investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting last week in Mount Carmel. State police say local officers responded to a domestic disturbance in the 40 block of Lambert Drive. There they encountered a juvenile suspect with a knife. An officer opened fire, hitting that suspect and another juvenile. The suspect died. The other juvenile was hospitalized. An ag teacher at Watseka High School accused of grooming her students. Police launched the investigation last week that a teacher was making comments to students as she was teaching. Investigators learned that the teacher also showed some of the students pornographic images. Police arresting Bailey Bashong on Thursday. You're locally up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, hey, good morning. It is Tuesday. 3 weeks from today, we have an election.
Yes, October 15th.
Yep,
Here we come.
Happening.
A fall-like feel for sure.
No question. I had 41 in the car thermometer, Mr.
For me,
Greg.
38.
38 for Diane. Who's right? I had 41.
Yeah, about 38 there in the Philo area. Yep. And colder still to come.
Right.
So is this the moment I say I must take my hoses off my spigot?
Well, that's kind of debatable. There's probably some, insulary warmth from the house, the grounds. If it's rolled up and by the house, I would think it's okay. It's not going to be a hard freeze. So,
but having gone through this once before,
not brought mine in yet.
I went through this once, and it looked like I don't know what, like a absolute explosion, and the pipe bent back.
Yeah,
it was. So I'm going to take mine off.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
I'm good.
Better safe than sorry.
No, that's exactly right. It's our meteorologist Greg Solier. We bring him this morning to you because of Carl.
And Carl reminds you, Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. Get your annual mammogram scheduled. The earlier diagnosis, the better chance for survival. Mills Breast Cancer Institute is there every step of the way. Learn more at carl.org.
All right, we've got Tuesday. We got Saturday, big event. It's the Michigan Wolverines, defending national champions in town. How do we look in the week's weather, sir?
Well, as quickly as the cold air rotates on in, it'll be blowing right out of here, so hang in there. There are still some milder days ahead around here relative to mid-October, or more or less a September feel for that matter as we get on through the weekend and early next week. But in the meantime, it's a November-looking feel to the weather maps and charts. Big upper air low, winds running the fetch of Lake Michigan. Yeah, that big pond 2.5 hours to the north, it does influence our weather with cloudiness as the day wears on, some sprinkles of rain, and there's been just downright showers and thunderstorms, and a couple of reports of waterspouts up there as close as Will and Kankakee counties, Lake County, Indiana, as well. Some pretty healthy rains, and that will be the story if you're going to go northbound. Otherwise, and apart from the sprinkles, a cold morning, a little frost scraping at Rantoul at 34, 37 over at Danville, 32 at the freezing mark at Paxton, 36 at Bloomington Normal, 38 over at Willett and Savoy, Ogden, St. Joe at 35. So cold morning, a chilly afternoon, partly sunny, and a couple of sprinkles, as mentioned, north of Champaign, and the high about 55. Clear, cold tonight, lighter, diminishing north wind, everyone down to 33, and everyone into a frost. For the day tomorrow, frosty to start, sunny and 59, a frost and light freeze tomorrow night at 29 to 32 degrees across the listing area. Sunny turning milder Thursday afternoon at 62. Windy Friday afternoon, milder at 70. There'll be a healthy south wind on football Saturday, kickoff temperature at 72. Lots of sunshine, mid-70s on Monday. Next inkling of a shower late Monday and Tuesday. We're still above average in the low to mid-70s through the better part of next week, too. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, 7:09. Here we go. It is Tuesday. Look who came into the studio.
I
got him
love
on the TV. It's Habib. Habib, we are on Facebook Live, are we not? I don't know.
We are, for now.
Yeah, for now, until I say something that gets me suddenly knocked off.
Can you believe the censorship these days?
Yeah, it's crazy. Habib, one of the great humans I've ever met.
Well, good morning.
Originally from Lebanon. He came to America wearing a Daddy-O's hat.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
exactly right. He came off the plane, you were wearing a Daddy-O's hat working fast food.
Did I also come on a camel?
No, you did not. You went to the airport on a camel. No, listen, it's he's an American story. I mean, you were in a place, a great family, but you sure weren't born with anything in your hand like a silver spoon or anything like that.
No.
And you came to America, and I seriously remember meeting Habib, and he did have a Daddy-O's hat on. It was Daddy-O's was a fast food hamburger joint.
I remember.
I don't know.
Before that, it was G.D. Ritzy's.
G.D. Ritzy's.
That was
I remember
delicious
that.
too.
And Habib came with a dream and accomplished incredible things in a business sense and became a powerful human being for Champaign County. Why'd you land here?
I came to Olivet.
Olivet Nazarene up in Kankakee.
Yeah. And I said, which is the best? He said Olivet.
I'll be darned.
He got me.
Okay, so they're in Bourbonnais.
Yeah. But,
So-
can I open up with something, though? I brought you a gift.
Okay, great.
Look what I brought you.
You did not.
I brought you fresh baked baklava.
Look
The
at
best
you.
baklava
Stevie,
in the
you
world.
should just at least give a couple to Diane,
Go put it in that chair. I'll think about it.
It is so yummy.
The baklava is the best I've ever tasted.
Thank you.
Why don't we open Daddy-O's again and put baklava in it?
Exactly.
What we ought to do.
I think people who own restaurants are trying to get out of the restaurant business these days.
It's been hard.
It's been hard. I feel bad for
I
them.
know. I mean, there are restaurants closing.
Finding
Yes.
reliable people, especially the young people, and getting people to show up. And how much are you paying them? And then the cost of everything to make it happen.
Food cost is up, payroll is up,
Yep.
and we are in Illinois. They want more.
But what happened to us, Habib? We can't find. I mean, if you bought Burger King, you put the hat back on. There's nobody to hire.
That's right.
They'll come, but then they need Thursday and Tuesday next week off. No, I'm serious. It is unbelievable. The anecdotal stuff I'm hearing from owners and managers. I mean, I just the probably the most stunning one. The two guy worked at a grocery store. Didn't show up Saturday, Sunday, showed up Monday. The manager said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm here to work." Says, "You missed the weekend." He went back to the produce guy and said, "How do you know when you're supposed